Victorious Vikings. The Vikings came from the era of the modern Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. They set out in boats called longship to go Viking, which means to go traveling around looking for resources and land. The Vikings first arrived in Britain around AD 787 and in AD 793. They raided the monastery at Lindisfarne in Northumbria and stole many items from it. The Vikings came to Britain looking for new items to steal and trade. In addition to this, they wanted land that they could take and use for themselves. The Vikings particularly liked to raid monasteries like the one at Lindisfarne. The monastery were not very well protected and contained important goods like gold, jewels, and food. The Vikings also stole manuscripts, handwritten books, and Bibles, which they later sold back to the monastery. When the Vikings first came to Britain, they raided, took what they could, and then went home again. However, in AD 850, some Vikings stayed in Britain over winter for the first time on the island of Thanet. They enjoyed the milder climate and made use of the rich natural resources. Later, the Vikings started to look for places they could take for their own and settle in for good. By AD 866, they had captured the city of York that eventually became a successful and important Viking city. The Anglo-Saxon king of Wessex, Alfred the Great, fought against the Vikings in AD 878 and forced them out of the south of England, but they did not last long. Later that year, the Vikings took over Wessex and forced King Alfred into hiding. They then went on to capture more places, and many Vikings decided to live in Britain forever. The Vikings are probably best known for their fierce warriors. They were expert fighters, very organized, and very brave in battle. King Vikings warriors are often known in picture wearing helmets with horns, but they did not really wear horn helmet in battle. Instead, the Vikings' helmet, which were made of leather and metal, would have been smooth and close-fitting to the head. It is thought that horn helmets were worn only in religious ceremonies. The Viking warriors carried large shields about 80 to 90 centimeters in diameter, which were made of wood and covered in leather. Sometimes the shields would be made with metal as well. They were held using a single hand grip on the back, as this made them easier to move around. The axe was a Vikings warrior's main weapon, but they also used spears and swords. Swords were very special weapons, as they were often given to brave warriors who had done well in many battles. Swords were often double-edged with a ridge running down the full length of the center of the blade. The Viking believed that brave warriors who died in battle would go to Valhalla. This was like a heaven for warriors and the place where their chief god, Odin, lived.